I'm Bryan Lewis. I'm the president of KidneyCAN. We're a nonprofit organization with offices in Philadelphia and also in Washington. And we do patient advocacy and research advocacy for the kidney cancer community. So like a lot of people in the kidney cancer space, I had what's called an incidental finding. And an incidental finding is when you go to the hospital or the doctor and lo and behold, through other measures, they find out that you have kidney cancer. When I first started doing research, I found that there are about 70,000 new cases of kidney cancer in the United States every year. I also found out that approximately 15,000 people a year are dying from kidney cancer in the United States. When I was first diagnosed, I had twin 1.5-year-olds, Jackson and Isabel. And those were a major motivator, along with my wife, in staying alive. Yeah, it was definitely a game changer when it happened, and I immediately took care surgically of the kidney cancer that I knew of. But after I was surgically mended, after surgery and I was mended, I tried to block it out. I tried to go back to normal life. But kidney cancer and all cancers are life-changing, and I decided after some time to start doing something about it. A friend of mine on a trip said to me, a college friend said to me, Bryan, you're not supposed to be here right now. You are the walking dead, and you need to do something about it. And that was the inkling, that was the genesis of the idea to start thinking about giving back and doing something. So I was first introduced to Chris Battle, who is no longer with us. He succumbed to kidney cancer. And we had a conversation one time, and I heard about this organization, ACKC. And so I contacted ACKC, and they asked me to work for them and help them start going around Capitol Hill and getting to know senators and congressmen and women. Since I lived in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill, I was only 11 blocks from the House and Senate, and so I could go over there on a regular basis and get interviews or set up meetings with different staff members. And over time, since the beginning in late 2013, 2014, I've had over 450 meetings on Capitol Hill. It was very apparent early on that kidney cancer was extremely underfunded for where it ranked as a cancer in the United States. In particular, the NIH was doing some funding for kidney cancer research, but otherwise there was a little bit of funding through another department in the government, but not much at all. Over time, we realized if we were going to get funding, we had to get a dedicated line item for kidney cancer research. And the way we were able to do that is through the Department of Defense Congressionally Directed Medical Research Program. The CDMRP allows for line items for research funding for specific diseases. And we were able to obtain a champion in Washington, D.C., who was able to get us a line item for kidney cancer research for $10 million in fiscal year 2017. That was the first time kidney cancer got dedicated funding for research. I can say in 2016 we had $0 dedicated to kidney cancer research. Today we have $40 million for kidney cancer research. The government, I believe, has an obligation to help fund research in a basic way, in the basic science, for those future groundbreaking opportunities that are going to come out of that basic science. Private funds help to supplement the government and the industry funding that's already going into clinical areas. Private funding allows to fund new ideas and different ideas that may have been left on the cutting floor in the attempt to get funding. I would propose that early detection is one of the most important things we could find out, we could study. And it's really hard. It's considered the holy grail, finding a biomarker, which is a medical term for finding something that will signify to the world that you could have or may be a candidate for kidney cancer. Early detection, that's where we need a lot of help. Meanwhile, there are dozens of really great ideas out there that are being pursued, both by industry, academia, through private funding, through government funding. Our job is to try to bring those folks together to communicate and converge so that they're sharing information, so we move down the pipeline towards a cure in a faster way. Most advocacy organizations have legislative activity going on in Washington, D.C. as part of their arsenal of what they're doing to raise patient information and to support patient advocacy. KidneyCAN has, generally speaking, 2 per year, 2 advocacy days, a spring and a fall advocacy day every year. And we have one coming up in March where we're going to be asking across the country kidney cancer stakeholders to come together to Washington, D.C. to speak as one voice. And so if we have advocacy days in Washington on a regular basis, and we would love to have those people that are interested in this issue to join us in Washington to help us speak as one voice. There's a fun saying in Washington, but it's fairly true, which is, if you're not at the table, then you're on the menu. Which means if you're not in the game, in the dialogue, in the discussion on Capitol Hill, then either your interests are going to get trampled, or they're not going to get heard, or you may even have things happen negatively towards what you're trying to do by not doing anything. So get to the table, be on the menu, be part of the discussion. That's what KidneyCAN is all about.